Moving on to another puzzling piece of footage, a couple's dashboard camera recorded a truly mysterious event, to put it mildly. According to their account, the young man had misplaced his phone earlier that day while venturing into one of the cornfields alongside the road. After briefly searching, they headed back to their vehicle, completely oblivious that their dashcam had recorded something really eerie. It bears a striking resemblance to a woman hunched over, and what makes it even more bizarre is that she seemed to materialize from nowhere. Neither of them had any knowledge this incident had taken place. They discovered the recording purely by chance while reviewing the footage for something completely unrelated. Or was something more supernatural at work here? The following video stems from the Philippines and a pair of young women who had decided to walk through the forest paths, separated from their friends for a few minutes to take some photos. They never imagined those few minutes would lead to one of the most unsettling experiences of their lives.
Naliligaw kami, guys! Naliligaw! Wala ni mga kasama namin! Wala ni mga kasama namin. Kailangan namin silang habulin kasi maliligaw kami. Gagi, malayo na sila. Wala na.
Did you notice? Someone or something can be seen behind them, as if it were following them. A strange shadowy figure trailing them as they ran down the lonely path. However, the most bizarre fact is that within seconds during a simple camera move, the figure simply vanishes. The women state that they never saw anyone in the vicinity. They were certain they were running alone, and to this day they don't know exactly what it was that seemed to be following them on the path. Fortunately, minutes later they would reunite with their group of friends and share their experience. One of their companions, whilst reviewing the recording, was the one who noticed the strange presence and told a chilling story. They had heard from locals about the appearance of the unnamed one, a cadaverous person in a dark robe who follows hikers. Fortunately, they never stopped moving, because otherwise it is said that this manifestation makes you get lost on the path and traps you on its trails. Of course, this could all just be tales, but they have simply no explanation for this weird sighting. The next clip was shared by Thea Taylor. They shared the recording from their security system that they have mounted outside of their house, and it appears that a person is popping up on frame all of a sudden, walking a little bit, and then disappearing, which kept their whole household baffled after seeing that. Well, let's see what exactly they could record here.
7/2 of 2020. We apparently caught an apparition going to the neighbor's house, going left to right by the trash cans, and in the middle of the driveway, this figure or apparition dissipates. And I've watched this hundreds of times, and nobody goes in the apartment. There it is, walking, no legs, and she disappears. If you see, nobody is going into this apartment right now. And a vehicle drives by. Nobody. Nobody's there. The neighbor left. There's nobody nowhere to be found anywhere. Very odd. What's your thoughts on that?
So, what are we seeing here? On first glance, it does appear just like a regular person, but then the shape disappears. We probably all have seen artifact issues that can be caused by these type of CCTV cameras. But a person vanishing in the middle of the road is really something else. Is it maybe a real apparition that the camera could capture here? Now we're looking at a video recorded by Corey333, who shared this clip on Reddit. He believes that he might have recorded the spirit of his deceased pet following his cat into a room. His post reads, "This is a video from my camera in my house. I used it to see what my cat gets up to when I'm gone. You can see my cat go upstairs, and soon after something follows him. He's the only animal in the house. We used to have a small dog, but he passed away 4 years ago. Let's take a look." And then the recording ends. So, what was going on here? You can clearly see the cat go upstairs, and then there appears to be a blurry shadow following her. Can we believe the reports that this might even be the spirit of their deceased dog? It is likely. Or is this just a bug, or maybe some dust in the room? Let me hear your explanation. It's really strange, but if you look closely, you can see a torso coming out of the floor, which is obviously not possible. The security guard is pretty sure that we are seeing a spirit here, or at least something non-human. But what do you think? I have certainly no explanation for this. The next video was shared by Tracy Paris, and the description reads that she was showing the following video on a family gathering, and it was recorded by a camera that two of her, I think, cousins have set up in their place. And there was some really ominous stuff going on.
Ahí fue, mira. ¿Sí cómo se movía eso?
Se cayó, levantó vuelo.
Ajá. Esa vaina ahí. Ah, yo, mi amigo.
Es que
Y ahí. Que se cayó un vuelito.
Oh wow, what's that? Look at the door here. Is that a hand? How do we explain that? This is like the worst that can happen. I mean, this looks like some really powerful activity. That's really weird. This was captured by a worker during a nightly shift. He was just moving some heavy machinery to a new construction site. He was by himself at the time and didn't see anything strange, but based on his reports, he heard a weird scream from the neighboring fields, which caused him to pull up the recording after his shift had ended. And he saw something quite unique. Some of his co-workers think that he might have captured a floating torso of a spirit, or maybe another form of creature. He was pretty baffled and had no explanation of what we are seeing here, especially since it just shows up for a few moments before it vanishes. Super weird. What do you think could have been captured here? How creepy. The next video is a paranormal investigation of Seaview Asylum in New Zealand from Channel Omega. Seaview is known for its eerie reputation, especially among paranormal investigators. It was established in 1872, situated on the cliffs near Hokiata and covering around 150 acres. Like many other institutions of its kind, it has a dark history of rumored off-the-record experiments, extreme treatments, and other serious misconduct. The asylum exudes a palpable sense of negative energy throughout the entire property. There have been even claims that the tennis court might have been an unmarked graveyard. Despite this unsettling history, Omega decides to conduct an overnight stay in his quest to explore and uncover the paranormal.
So you obviously, did he appear in that window? Yeah. So you obviously, he heard like the EMF went off several times. Yeah, and he's appeared in that window. Yeah. You know, you can see his face in that window. You caught it? I've got it on my camera. Did you? Everybody saw that?
I saw nothing on the camera on my one.
At one point late in the night, the team manages to capture a chilling moment that appears to be a ghost sighting through a window. If you take a close look at both camera feeds, it's evident that there's something in the window, and it's not just a stain on the glass itself. It's strange because the way the light reflects off, it suggests it's something other than a typical smudge. What makes it even more bizarre is that both cameras were capturing the figure from nearly the same angle. Yet for some inexplicable reason, this figure appeared on opposite sides of the window.
Is really a ghost showing itself after I taunted it? Or is there a clearer explanation to this one that we're all not seeing?
This raises the question, was this actually a ghost, making itself visible to the team? Or is it possibly something else that they've captured that night? This was supposedly captured by a patrolling officer in the area. What had caused him to take a closer look at this house is unfortunately unknown.
422. This place definitely gives out some creepy vibes. Keep seeing shadows walking by. What the?
Now, this could either be some creepy editing, or we are looking at a shadow person. What that creepy laughing means, though, I couldn't say. This was another TV report which shows two officers as they were chasing down a speeding car.
Runaway carves across the carriageway
Some boy is going up.
and calls it a day. You're nicked. Or you should be.
Where is it?
There's no one outside, no one behind the wheel, and the van is locked.
Where's it gone?
It's magic.
It's in the back. He stopped to think he's hiding in the back. There's no one in the driver or passenger seat.
To their surprise, the car was completely empty and apparently locked. So either the driver was hiding somewhere really clever, or what else could have unfolded here? The following capture was taken by a night guard in Mexico and shared by Pasillo Infinito. The night guard states that many of the staff are talking about really weird sightings that they come across, particularly in the midst of night in this old hospital. Even ghostly patients can be seen ever so often, roaming the hallways, although people are generally not supposed to be there that late at night. The following case took place inside a supermarket in Mexico and was documented by Angel Alfaro, who works as a night watchman within the facility. He had never before experienced anything paranormal. However, everything would change one early morning when out of nowhere he began hearing strange noises that prompted him to take out his phone.
Jenny, hoy sí voy a dormir, mañana me cuesta si pasa algo. Ya está, Jenny. Verga. A la bestia. Puta, a la vez mi corazón, ¿no? Este pinche ruidazo. Mira, banda, ¿se entendió esto? ¿Vieron? No, sácate.
Finds the paint machine turned on. While the machine might be programmed, who or what could have caused the noise at the beginning of the video? That night would simply remain a strange event for which he found no explanation, but he also didn't want to investigate further to avoid feeling frightened during work. However, nights after, it seemed that whatever it was manifested again.
Que ya vieron el rostro que está hasta allá. ¿Ya lo vieron o no? ¿Se lo están viendo?
That sign was moving inexplicably, maybe an air current, but it's curious that only this particular sign was swaying, and none of the adjacent ones were doing so. But this wasn't the most disturbing part. The following early mornings would become increasingly intense.
Sospecha. Pero atrás de mí, güey, no. No, güey, se empezó el cuerpo bien feo.
Whatever was there seemed to be trying to communicate through electrical equipment, in this case a speaker. It's quite common for supernatural energy manifestations to somehow take control of these devices in order to try to attract attention and in many cases deliver a message to whoever is nearby. In fact, nights later, while this guard was talking on the phone and live streaming, something happened that he never even noticed himself, but people began alerting him in the comments.
Protección de activo, carnal. Pues sí, algunos pues dependen, pues tienes descuento, 10% de descuento.
A strange moaning could be heard. Some thought it could be the spirit of a person who might have passed away in this place, behind him, and is trying to communicate. Others recommended that he take precautions because it could be the beginning of something that not only inhabits the supermarket, but could now be following him wherever he goes. Do you think this is possible? How else could we explain all this activity? This footage dates back to the early 2000s and was reportedly shared by a group of friends exploring an urban legend. According to local tales, this house had been the site of numerous sinister rituals in the past, with spirits from long-forgotten eras still occasionally making appearances today. Naturally, the group dismissed these ghost stories as fiction. They focused their investigation on one particular room that, according to their account, gave them an unusual feeling. While examining the collapsed floor, something strange manifested in the background. A see-through figure emerges from the floorboards. It has two dark voids where the eyes should be, causing the person filming to back away in terror. This experience convinced the group they had encountered a genuine apparition. Could there be some truth to this? Perhaps those ghost stories weren't just stories after all. This recording was shared by an officer who stated that they noticed something strange in the abandoned building across the police station. Their CCTV camera captured what appeared to be people, even though nobody was living there. It is pretty clear that there are two outlines that are not accounted for. How is this possible? As stated before, nobody was living in this building at the time. Was it perhaps two visitors from the afterlife? This is another strange CCTV recording which was captured in front of another police station. They saw a ghostly object hovering around in the midst of night. What could this be?